stage. And next, we actually have Kuan from OTA Insight who can help break it down a little bit more for us in terms of how things are looking forward for the hospitality industry. Kuan, please.
Hi, good morning everyone. I am Kuan Yii from the APAC Business Development Team at OTA Insight. It is my pleasure to be here today to share more about the hospitality industry data insights for APAC hoteliers. I see some familiar faces in the crowd. Great seeing you again. So I did notice some new faces as well. Great to meet you. Do drop by our booth later on. More than happy to have a quick chat and share more about your markets with you, right? Now at OTA Insights, we empower hoteliers to actually make smarter revenue distribution and marketing decisions through our suite of solutions. Currently partnered with more than 60,000 hotels globally. Here you can see on the slide, here are some of our key partners. So here's what I'm gonna be talking more about today. I will start off with the current state of the industry and then looking forward, touching on some of the key opportunities with China's reopening and also pricing promotional trends across APAC, and lastly, summarize everything into the key takeaways for you. Now, current state of the industry. To think about it, right, we are already halfway through Q2 of this year, and today we have prepared some really interesting metrics and data insights to share with everyone to show where we are currently. Every booking starts with a search. Agree, right? And search data is actually a reliable gauge of actual demand itself. On the left here, we can see the orange chart showing the flight search volume increase year on year, right? To summarize it for you, on a global scale, we saw 124% increase in flight search volume comparing last year with the year before. And then, of course, a further increase of 32% this versus last year. For APAC, the number looks really, really positive. Now here it goes. Last year, there were many APAC destinations that lifted travel ban, right? So we saw an increase of beyond 360% increase last year versus the year before. And then this year, a further jump of 90%. Deep dive further, looking at some of the key cities with highest increase in flight and hotel search volume. We pulled the data from our global database. And here we can see the top 5 are all Asian countries. Interesting result, right? And the top 3 being Macau, Taiwan, Japan, where we saw an increase of 10 to 15 times increase when it comes to flight search volume. And of course, there are many reasons and factors that will contribute to this, right? Like seasonality, the Golden Week holidays, Sakura season, proximity, and also ease of travel for the source market as well. So to deep dive further, we have aggregated 9 key cities here, exploring the consumer demand through hotel search data. Disclaimer, our database is not limited to just this ones. So if the market or cities that you are interested to look into is not available here, feel free to come and speak to my team, right? We will be here both days. Now, how to read this graph, right? Back to here. The start point is actually September last year. So what we are seeing would be how the hotel search volume have actually evolved over time. And taking Shanghai as an example here, currently what we are seeing would be the current search volume when it comes to hotel search within Shanghai is actually already close to 8 times higher than what it was last September. As for the other countries and cities that lifted travel bans earlier, so we can see that comparing to the search volume back in September, it's been pretty stable, especially for Singapore, for Bali, and also some other ones, right? As for the ones that announced the ease of border, like Japan and Greater China later in last year, we can see the spike up as well. Now, taking Singapore as an example, here we deep dive to look at, which are the key feeder markets, right, in real time that have contributed to the search volume that we saw in the previous slide. Now, looking at flight search through GDS, we can see the key ones, China, Hong Kong, Thailand. As for the ones searching for hotel stay in Singapore over the next 30 days, we can see the breakdown as well. India, Singapore, and also Indonesia, right next to it, these are all real-time data. We can see the preferred length of stay patterns as well. So these are some of the data insights whereby the commercial team can actually come together and utilize this and incorporate into their commercial strategy planning. And I would say personally, from the last session, the video that we watched, I would say one of the key takeaways from myself would be how APAC countries are the most reliant when it comes to China inbound visits. And my presentation today won't be complete without touching on the opportunities and key trends with China's reopening itself. Now, with so many experts in the room today managing hotels across APAC, I believe you have noticed how key feeder markets have changed, right? So what about the mainland Chinese tourists? Where do they want to go this year? Here's the result. We can see the top 10, right? The top seven are all Asian countries, and I know there are discussions around the challenges and also issues when it comes to especially like flight capacity and frequency. Second chart here shows you daily outbound flights from mainland China. So it's been increasing pretty steadily, I would say. So this is a good sign, right? But of course, if you are still wondering, like I did when I was preparing this presentation, that if these travel intent, these searches and interests really get converted into actual booking and actual arrivals, this chart would answer your question. We can see some of the key countries within APAC with the uptick in Chinese travelers here. Taking the first one, Thailand, as an example, we can see the inbound visit rate has been increasing gradually. Latest data shows that they are now at the highest in 3 years, same trend across the other countries as well. Focusing on Hong Kong, the most preferred destination for Chinese this year, we can see this is how demand has evolved within the market itself. We can also see smart com set, right, based on consumer search behavior. The set of competitors, how they react to demand changes with their price, and we can also see how feeder markets change in real time as well. Now looking forward, touching on pricing and promotional trends across APAC, in this chart, right, we focus on the key destinations from the survey earlier. So we see countries like Japan, Singapore, Korea, and so on. This chart is pretty straightforward. We look at their prices this year versus last year. So we can see January to April, basically this year, first quarter, it has already surpassed last year, right? Pretty positive. And then we take Seoul, Korea as an example. Aggregating all stars hotel here, the prices from 2019 to now. We can see the purple line shows the 2023 actualized prices, and the pink dots continue with the advertised prices. To summarize this graph for you here, we can see room rates are currently above 2019 levels, and it actually shows that this trend would continue for the rest of the year, right? Some might challenge us here and say that this trend, must be actually driven by the 5-star hotels. We break it down for you here. It is actually not the case. 5-star hotels, we can see that last year was the year for them, and this year, though, is actually the year for 4 stars and 3 stars hotels pricing rebound. And this is the trend in Seoul, Korea itself. This is the one for 3 stars, and we also did notice the same trend about 3 stars and 4 stars hotel pricing rebound this year for the other key APAC cities as well. Now lastly, how are hotels around us using length of stay 3 nights discount, right? Same set of cities. I know it's a really colorful chart here. Just focus on the lighter blue bars. Now we take example like Bangkok, Sydney, Singapore. We can see the blue bars, right, the lighter ones. 10 to 20% of these hotels offer length of stay 3 nights discount of 5 to 15%. 10 to 20% of the hotels in those markets could mean like hundreds and hundreds of hotels, right? Now putting real-time data right next to it. Are the hotels utilizing length of stay discount in line with guest preferences? That is something for us to think about, right? And that would actually bring me to the end of my presentation. I know I shared a lot of different data insights, graph, and numbers earlier on, right? So to summarize everything for everyone into 3 key pointers. Firstly, ADRs have surpassed 2019 levels. We can see the rising in consumer confidence in their travel plans and also in spending powers. Secondly, the key feeder markets for different cities have changed as well. And also when it comes to places, destinations that the mainland Chinese want to visit have also changed and will just constantly evolve. So data-driven approach is the way to go. I'm not done yet, there's more that I can share. I can go on for hours and hours, but I'm not gonna do it on the stage today. So feel free to drop by at our booth later on. We do have more data to share as well. It's booth number 2. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope you enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you.